Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about onomatopoeias, which I've always thought is a pretty fun word to say. But their definition is they are a sound word. So that means they are words that imitate the sounds they represent. For example, let's say in a story we are reading about a dog, and we kind of set the stage as there's a dog running around the grass, and then we write in our story bark, 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 right? That bark is in place of a sound that a dog would make, so that when we read it, we are thinking about the sound of a dog barking. Or think about when a glass vase, falls off the table and shatters to the ground, and we have, the word wham, right? A big sound that stands in place of what sound would the vase would make if it fell and it broke and it shattered. So that's what onomatopoeias are. They are sound words. That's usually what we call them. They're words that stand in for a sound. Because when we're telling a story, sometimes we want to pull in that aspect. We want to make readers think that they are actually hearing the sound. So I wanted to pull you over to our story. We've got Help, a Story of Friendship. And there are some onomatopoeias in this story. So I wanted to point one out to you. When we first see Snake come into the story, so before this we had Rabbit and Hedgehog and Squirrel. They're all trying to get Mouse out of this hole, and none of them feel like they can do it. And we know that Mouse is afraid of Snake. But Snake finally comes by, right? Remember the first time he comes into the picture, and we see this, the whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It says Hedgehog heard the grass move. It was Snake. So we use that whoosh, whoosh, whoosh to imitate the sound of a snake moving through the grass and add that sound element to our story. It's an author's way of just kind of making the story more interesting and of catching the reader's attention suddenly with a big sound word, just like a sudden sound, like a vase crashing or a dog barking or a snake moving through the grass. Just like that sound would kind of capture our attention if we were really hearing it. So today, you are going to be doing some work with onomatopoeias. Today you are going to watch this video. It's going to give you more information on what an onomatopoeia is. So you'll go ahead and you'll play that video. Yep, and you'll hear a sheep. That's an example of an onomatopoeia, a sound of a sheep. And then over on our anchor chart, you'll see a bunch of examples. So we've got ding, honk, ring, wham, boom, flush, bah, woof, crack, splash, wah, mouse, and neigh. So a lot of those sounds are animal sounds. A lot of times in a story, if we're talking about animals, a cat, a dog, a horse, a goat, a sheep, it's easy to include some sound words because animals make a lot of sounds. But there's a lot of other sounds like honk. You're driving in a car and you got to honk at the person in front of you, or ring like a phone ringing or a doorbell. So there's a lot of different sounds that we can put into our stories. So I want you guys to watch this YouTube video, make sure you've already done that, and check out the onomatopoeia anchor chart. And when you go over to Seesaw, you're going to see an assignment where you are going to write a paragraph about your morning. And I'll have a lot more directions for you in the Seesaw assignment, so make sure you check that out. But you're just going to write a paragraph about your morning, what went on this morning, what did you have for breakfast, and then you're going to make sure you incorporate at least one onomatopoeia in your story about your morning. So make sure you include at least one sound word. So go ahead and head on over to Seesaw and you'll see that assignment.